I don't know if I even got that all in the intro because the recording button thing didn't show up until after I said it. Um, anyway, so I don't have a whole lot of time because I wanted to try to be asleep by 10:30 and it is currently like 5 after. So I'm going to try to make this fast. And I haven't really done one of these in like 2 weeks and I feel kind of bad about it. But like nobody really watched the other one, so I was like, eh. And anyway, so I have my jar because it's story time. And I really don't remember. Like I think I put some like music stuff in here besides instruments, among other things. So like I don't know when that'll pop up. If it'll pop up before I finish ever doing these videos again, I don't know because it's been like 2 weeks since the last video and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do 2 a week anymore because I have to do like a million things for homework, especially recently because of my art class. So woohoo for that. I'm going to have to do like life update kind of things instead of just stories because well, I don't have a whole lot to talk about with this one. Recently it was Valentine's Day, so it's very relevant. The topic I just pulled out of the jar is PDA, public displays of affection. I have been anti-PDA since like forever. I hate it. I don't like to see it, and it kind of makes me jealous at the same time. Like, I just don't like it. I don't. I've also heard it is illegal in some places, and the only specific place that I know of is San Marino, which is San Marino in like the middle of Italy. It's like a baby country. It's not really a country. I don't really know what it is. Like they call it like a country, but I don't really know like how it works. But PDA is illegal there, so if you ever find yourself in San Marino, don't like kiss and hold hands in public. Anyway, so we had like a Valentine's dance recently, and I basically wasted $5 and 3 hours. $5 and 3 hours just to watch like couples dancing too close and girls in really short skirts. Well, not really short, but short by like LDS standards. Like I won't go into it because there was like a specific situation that bothered me like particularly. And like I won't go into it because this is going to be like public on stuff and it's like sacred matters and blah blah blah. But basically I saw way more leg than I wanted to see with the girls, and like they were just like there were couples that were like kissing while they were dancing, and it was just awkward as heck. I hated it. And then like I don't know, it was just weird. I don't like it. Okay, so since that was such a short topic, I'm gonna give you like a life update while I've got like 10-20 more minutes. Because I thought that one was going to be longer, I guess, when I first wrote it, but not really. Anyway, so, recently I decided to change my major, and, I'm sent in the application about a week ago. Like, literally a week ago, I went into the office to like talk about changing my major, and the guy there, the counselor guy that I was talking to, the academic counselor, he was like suggesting a couple of things, and I was like, well, I know what I don't like, and I like listed off like a couple things that there are things that I would like to do, but I'm too squeamish. Like I would love to be a nurse, but I can't stand blood or needles at all. Bodily fluids are kind of still like they're on the border. Like I don't really want to have to deal with that kind of stuff, but I would love to be a nurse if I wasn't squeamish. But I have that problem, so I can't. And then I was like talking about a couple other things, and So he mentioned maybe doing like a degree in, what did he call it? I always forget the word. Administrative assistant. That's the word. Administrative. The first word's the harder one for me to remember. I don't know why. I remember assistant, but then administrative doesn't like come to my brain until after I think about it for a minute. So he was talking about like how he asked me like how fast do I type. Would I be interested in like an office job where I don't really have to talk to people face to face? Because that's another problem I have. I don't really like face to face conversations with strangers. Like, I can't do it on a daily basis. Like, if I happen to be in the same place, like, it has to be like coincidental types of like meetings or whatever. Like, if I'm happen to be at like Freshens, you know, the not restaurant, the like bagel place. If I go to the bagel place and there's somebody like there are no empty tables, and I'll sit at one and start talking to the person there because it's awkward if you just sit there in silence. And that's the kind of stuff I'm okay with, sort of. But like if I have to like initiate a conversation initiate a conversation with somebody, or if somebody initiates a conversation with me in like a more professional type of situation, it kind of freaks me out. Not just that, but also like social gatherings. Like if there's like a ton of people and I've got like 5 friends, and then all 5 friends like ditch me to go talk to other people, then I prefer to just sit in my own little corner by myself, not talk to anybody. And if somebody comes up to talk to me, even if it's a cute guy, I'm just like, in my head I'm like, go away, go away, go away right now, go away right now. And I'll answer their questions if they ask me questions, but I won't like make the conversation deeper because I just want them to leave me alone. So that's a problem I have with like social things. Like that's just something that like I haven't been able to get over it. And phone calls have gotten a little bit easier. Like I've kind of always had a problem with phone calls, mainly because I'm terrified that I won't understand them, that I will offend them in some way by asking them to repeat something several times because I don't understand them. If I'm afraid that I'll say something wrong, or I'll like give like wrong advice or something. I don't know, something weird like that. I've always had like this kind of problem with like phone calls, like professionally, but like in normal conversations. Like, I don't mind answering the phone. Answering the phone if it's a friend or family member, like somebody from church, like it's not as big of a deal if I just answer the phone. But if I have to call somebody, it's really awkward for me because I don't really know how to start the conversation. Like, I don't really know how to explain, you know, this is what I wanted to talk about. Like, I don't do small talk. I hate small talk. Small talk makes me want to punch a wall. I don't do it because I don't want to damage the wall or my hand. So, but I hate small talk. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's just like, hi, how are you? And then, like, there's no segue. You just have to, like, go, okay, well, I wanted to talk about this. You know, like, there's not, like, you're just, like, literally, I call people and say, hey, so I was wondering. And, like, I won't even say, like, I'll say, hey, but I won't, like, do any of, like, the little, like, how are you, like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't stall. I hate it. Like, I just get straight to the point, and it's really awkward for me, and I feel kind of bad for the person on the other line. So that's another problem I have with phone calls. But I've been getting better since I was on the mission. I got a little bit better with that. And I'm slightly less apprehensive about phone calls now than I was before my mission. Like, before my mission, I was terrified. Like, I outright refused to make phone calls at my work. I still don't really want to, and I appreciate that my boss didn't make me when I got back from my mission, but, like, it's not as scary as it used to be for me. Like, it's not as scary of an experience, I guess. So that would be involved in the administrative assistant thing, among a bunch of other things. So, like, I thought about it for a while and I was like, okay, I could probably do something like that, but I wouldn't want that to be like my focus because too many of those types of classes would overwhelm me and make me feel like really like inadequate, I guess. So I was like, I don't want that to be my main thing. So I like kept talking with this guy and I mentioned that I was interested in photography and in like family type classes. Like I took child development and I took and I'm currently taking marriage prep and family foundations, which is basically marriage prep sort of, but like marriage prep, the class like preparation for marriage is the teacher calls it relationship psychology. It's basically helping you make a smart choice in who you end up marrying or whatever. And family foundations is just like teaching like the basics of like what's important in the family, like as it pertains to the gospel and things like that. So like I'm taking these classes and I'm kind of like I'm still interested in taking. I was going to take like a parenting type class later because eventually I'm going to be a mom, I hope. But like right now it's not really relevant, but I figure it'll be relevant later, so I might as well, go ahead and take something like that. So I planned for, like, I was telling him about this. He was like, well, maybe you should do something with like child development, like you could do this or this or this. And we were talking like, so I'd already kind of like had in my head I'd probably do something with administrative assistant, and then child development sounded like the best choice for like something big to focus on because it's something that I'm more interested in and is more useful for me like in basically any situation because eventually I'm hoping to be a mother. And like if I could pick a permanent job for like the rest of my life, I would love to work at like a daycare or something because little kids, like I have this thing, it's like I have social anxiety and it partially comes from like middle school and like cruel children, cruel people from like when I was growing up. So from middle school up, I can't deal with middle schoolers or high schoolers. People my age kind of terrify me as well. Like there are some people like in between that are okay, like people who are like a couple years younger than me who are neither in high school nor in middle school. And like I have this weird age range. Like I like people who are younger than me but not in high school and older than me but not like I don't know. Like I tend to befriend like adultier adults, if that makes sense. And I also am friends with like young people, like the adultier adults because like I guess because they're easier to talk to, and some of them are still silly and stuff. And then the younger adults than me, because they kind of like, because I still kind of feel like a teenager, and so like I kind of want to like stick with that group, I guess. I don't really know. And then high schoolers kind of terrify me, except for my siblings. They're nice. Well, no, I have one sibling, but she's not in high school anymore. She's still kind of terrifying. Like, if we were both in high school at the same time and we were not related, I would be the weird kid that wanted to hang out with her group, and she and her friends would just bully me. That's the kind of person she is. So, like, because she's my sister, she's nice to me most of the time, but she's still not very nice to me sometimes, and it's kind of like, eh. Anyway, so like I want to avoid kind of like the older children if possible. So like daycare to like second grade, like that's like my ideal age group, I guess, for like a job or whatever. Then after we talked about that for a little while, he was like, "And what were you thinking about photography?" And I was like, "I don't know, like maybe like if I end up being a stay-at-home mom, I might be able to do like a photography type thing on the side, or like whenever I have like free time or whatever. And so we talked about that for a bit, and then he kind of pulled up this this option that the school had. So like there's you can have a major and a minor, or a major and like clusters, and you can have like, and they should, like in a normal situation they would like kind of all go together, but for me, because I don't have like one particular thing I'm really interested in, like children, yes, but not like, I don't want to take all my classes on one thing, you know? And so like I was just like, okay, well, let's look at this. And he pulled up this thing called the interdisciplinary studies degree. And with the interdisciplinary studies degree, that's the major, and then you get a concentration, which is like less than a major but more than a minor in credit numbers. And so it's like 30 something credits. And then you get either a minor, or either a second concentration, a minor, or 2 clusters. And so I chose the 2 clusters, so I could take child development as the concentration, and then photography as one cluster, and then administrative assistant as the other cluster. And but not, I didn't put them in that order. I switched them so that it looked like I was putting more emphasis on the administrative assistant, because it's technically more useful. Like basically it's like I work for a pediatrician's office, and they have this setup where like the mom works, she's the office manager, and we work from their house. And because I'm one of the little underlings or whatever, I do stuff for the office, but I also do stuff for the family. But she has these assistants. One of them's like kind of like a scout, and he like looks around for good deals on buildings so that they can have a new office. And I think they're already like putting together the new office now. And then the other guy, he makes phone calls and gets stuff done like to help her out. And that is what I consider the administrative assistant type of job. And so I'm like, okay, I could probably like figure this out. I could do something like that. So so like something like that would be the kind of job I would be like looking at if I don't end up being a stay-at-home mom. If I do end up being either that or something with children. So like my ideal job would be like daycare type stuff, but probably a better paying job would be administrative assistant type stuff. And then if I end up being a stay-at-home mom, then I still get to use my child development concentration in my own personal experiences, and I also would get to probably be a photographer like on the side. Like if I get like any free time, babysitter, if the dad stays home and plays with the kids and watches them, then I get to go like maybe for like an hour or two and go take pictures. I don't know, just something weird like that. Like that's kind of what I'm looking at and I'm hoping to be able to do. I filled out all of the stuff, graduation plan, filled out the application, got a new, like printed out the theoretical degree audit, and I sent those all in. And they said so I went in on Tuesday and I turned in the application on Wednesday. So tomorrow will be a week that I've had this done, and they should send me a reply within the next few days. But I don't really know. I think it has to go through like 2 or 3 different people first. So we'll see how that works. And this is the wrapper from a little breath mint dropper thing. I bought them because they reminded me of my childhood. They used to be like the only minty things that I liked was the little mint drop, like the breath mint dropper thingies. Like you'd drip it on your tongue, and they look kind of like eyedroppers, but you don't want to mix those up because that would be bad. But yeah, so that's my life update, I guess, for now. I got to sing on Sunday. For those of you who know about me singing on Sundays at like on my mission, I sang one of those songs in English. Unfortunately, it means more to me in Italian than it does in English, but it was still kind of a good thing for like I liked doing it. But then like afterwards, like I felt really ignored for the rest of the day, and I don't know why. Like there was this like weird awkwardness every time I tried to like talk to somebody. Like people would say, "Oh, you did so well," and then they wouldn't say anything else. Like that would be like the whole conversation. I had like a short like kind of get to know you type of conversation with a couple of people that were sitting on the row in front of me during Sunday school, but like it wasn't really like, I don't know, because we were in a group setting for the class. I ended up leaving that Sunday school class early because I was just really uncomfortable. I was like the first person in the classroom, and I was the only person in my row like the whole time. Like that was it. I had 3 people in the row in front of me, and then on each of the 2 rows behind me were full, and then the rows on the other side of the classroom were also full. So I was in a row all by myself because everybody else wanted to sit in other places or something. I don't know. I just felt really ignored. So I was like, this is uncomfortable, and I don't like a group setting. I don't know what we're like supposed to be doing because I can't hear him, and I'm just gonna leave. So I left, and Relief Society was also rough because we were talking about like happiness, and I have like I think I have like issues with depression, like not like serious issues, but enough to like make me sad just talking about like being happy or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird thing because the teacher was also, hold on, I have to catch my breath. I talk too fast and then I don't get enough air. The teacher was also talking about how she had like troubles with like depression and stuff, and I was like, every time she said something I was just like, ugh, this feels awful, like I don't want to be in this class right now. And like but the whole time I had like my bag and my scriptures and I had my coat on, and I was like I was ready to leave like the whole time, but every time I was like, okay, I'm gonna go now, she said something that like I was like, okay, maybe I need this. And then I just sat there for a few more minutes, and then I kind of sat back like I was going to leave again. And then she would say something else, and I'd be like, okay, I probably need this too. And then I like the whole time, I'm just like, I don't want to be here right now because I'm about to cry, and I don't like crying in front of people, and I don't like attention that's like, I don't like bad attention. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't want people to think I'm a baby because I cry. Because I've had this problem since like forever ago, because like I guess people said stuff in middle school or really late elementary school, like 4th or 5th grade, something about like, because I would get upset and then I would cry, and then people would say you're too old to cry, like you're too old for that, you should know better, you know. And it wasn't just like people making fun of me in class, it was also like adults that were related to me who I will not name, but like it made me feel like that I shouldn't cry, you know. And so it made me feel embarrassed every time I did cry in front of people, and so now I just don't do it anymore if I can help it. Sometimes I can't help it. For example, I don't know why this was a problem when I was in middle school. I was in 8th grade. And I had this teacher. I was taking algebra, and my grades were like terrible, and like I don't remember what the situation was, but like I went up to the teacher after classes, like partway through class or after class was over, and like I couldn't even talk. I was crying so bad. And I was like, hold on, I need to get some water. Like I left the room to get water and I came back and I was just like sobbing and I couldn't stop. Like it was just one of those situations. I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like that happens once in a while where I can't, my time's about up. I should probably stop talking. But yeah, so I had like one of those I don't want to cry, don't want to cry, don't want to cry situations on Sunday. And then I got a text message after church from some girl I had never met in my ward. And she was just like, are you okay? Like, and then after I replied, like, kind of like what was going on during church, she's like, oh, that stinks. And then she says, do you want to come over and watch a movie? Because she texted me on Monday. Like, she replied to my reply on Monday because she didn't get the reply yet. And so I went over to her apartment. We had pizza, and I got to watch the Mockingjay and, part one. And I was extremely satisfied with where they ended. I was just like, yes, they picked the perfect place to end this, because like I already read the book, and I was like, please let it not end before this happens, like please let it not end before this happens. And then it happened, and then the movie ended, and I was like, yes, that's where I wanted it. So Monday was very satisfying. Sunday was not. Yeah, that was it. I think that's enough for now. I have to go to sleep. It is 10:30, and I'm technically late going to sleep because, to be honest, like, if you want to go to sleep by a certain time, you want to go to sleep. You want to get in bed, lights off, no distractions for, like, at least 15 minutes before the time you want to be asleep. So, technically, I'm late, but I don't really care. Anyway, so that's it for now. I guess that's the video, and it was story time. It just wasn't all about PDA, so I'm just gonna call it like random updates, PDA and random updates. I don't know, something weird like that. So I guess I'll see you guys later.